Hey guys, hope every one of you are doing great. So good evening. In the sense it's like late 10 p.m. So today we're gonna discuss a very important point. Okay, we were discussing the same point in our clinic also. I think this is a very important thing, and people are aware of it, but people are not taking actions. Okay, because there's a continuous loop that is hanging around them, and they're not able to get out of their loop. So the topic for today definitely is how smartphone is shrinking your brain. Okay, brain, as you know, is a complex things uh, that control everything. Okay, voluntary action, involuntary action, it's all, I think, the important part of brain. But with technological advancement, especially the phones, the smartphones that we all carry in our daily life, I probably would not find anyone, okay, apart from those living in the tribals and the most remotest areas in the world, that anyone would not have access to the smartphone these days, okay. And definitely, initially, the smartphone was created, okay, in order to help the people make their life more convenient, okay, connect with people, especially within the smartphone too. The social media is a thing of concern, and eventually everything was made for the good of human being, but sooner or later people just saw the short term effect. They were unaware of the long term effect that's going to happen when you start using smartphone excessively. So today's topic is mainly focused on how smartphones are shrinking your brain. Okay, so the daily use, okay, research itself suggests that 30 to 50 minutes of social media, we're talking about social media, definitely there are working professionals, there are a lot of other peoples in different business, okay, they continuously use smartphone for the daily purpose. It doesn't mean you should disconnect from this world, okay, and start like detoxifying. It's just you need to be aware how they are really impacting, okay, because that's really a very serious concern, because your brain chemistry is being changed. So we will discuss few points how the smartphone uses is impacting your brain. If it's impacting your brain, definitely it's going to impact your mental health, physical health, your other somato or physical forms, and a lot of other things will get infected, because it's all the brain that control everything. So what usually happens, and research says that it's not just about using smartphone. Even when you keep that smartphone in and around yourself, okay, the effect is seen, okay. And there have been lot of MRIs, neuroimaging, radio imagings. There have been a lot of studies and researches that prove these points. First of all, how this smartphone works is like they give you just get the science behind it. This how the smartphones or the social media works, okay. They basically target the human basic or natural tendency to get and want feedback, okay. When you get or want feedback, okay, there's a chemical that gets released in your brain, that's dopamine, or the pleasurable hormones, okay, and that plays with your brain functioning, and it's okay to get dopamine, but you become so used to it, and you're continuously bombarding yourself with those dopamine, that your brain chemistry start getting disrupted. And when one thing get disrupted, is going to impact the other part too. So researchers have shown that excessive use of smartphone are causing brain chemical imbalances, and also the structure of the brain, the various materials in the brain, especially the gray materials you have heard about, that especially is responsible for a lot of other functionings, and a lot of cognitive functionings and social emotional regulation get impaired. So getting aware, when you use too much of phone, too much of smartphone, you're constantly scrolling or you're checking emails on a daily basis, okay, and you are not keeping the phone aside, it's impacting your brain, and you are right now not aware of it, but that brain uh, changes will definitely impact you in a long run, whether it's cognitive malfunctioning or impairment, whether it's memory problem, whether it's behavioral problem, whether it's mental health problem, whether it's dementias, and a lot of other problems are gonna arise. Okay, so this video is particularly for creating awareness around people that how smartphones are actually controlling your life, and that's very evident from our own surrounding. Just take a step back and see what's happening around you, whether it's you, whether it's your parents, whether your colleagues and friends. Just see around yourself how smartphone, which was usually made initially made for the convenient of the people, now has made people far from each other. They are not connected with the physical environment. Even if you are sitting in a group, everyone will tend to use their phone individually and will not focus on what's going around. So that is somehow impacting your social and emotional regulation skill. That is also an important functioning of prefrontal cortex, which is responsible for your emotional regulation, the amygdala, and these all things are getting disrupted just because you are using the smartphone in excess. Okay, and if you really want to figure it out whether I'm using smartphone in excess or not, just try to switch your phone for a day and just see yourself, observe your behavior, observe your thoughts. Okay, you will be highly anxious. Okay, and that means you have become dependent on smartphone. Okay, that's why a lot of people start the moment of detoxifying or like detoxing the use of smartphone also. And also many big giant companies, even who created the smartphones and social media apps, also promote taking a break from all these things, because it's somehow impacting your brain functioning, mental health, and a whole lot of other things. Okay, so we discussed two things: one, how it's impacting your brain functioning, and that is related to a lot of problems. That is related to cognitive impairment, that is related to brain functioning, that is related to memories, that is related to your decision making abilities, and a whole other lot of problem. Second thing, we discussed how brain functioning get impacted and how that also impacts your social and emotional regulation skills. Okay, that was the second point. Third point, it is said that excess use of smartphone definitely lead to dementia in the later period, and that is bound to happen, my friends. Okay, whether you agree it or not, right now you are so much dependent on a smartphone for your daily life. Okay, your brain functioning, your memories, your decision making abilities. I'm coming to the same point again and again because it's all part of brain. And the lifestyle we are living right now, we're not talking about diet, sleep, and for now we'll be talking it later. Okay, later point, but we are talking about how we are not using our memory we are not using our curiosity. Okay, how we are not just getting dependent on smartphone on a daily basis. Eventually what used to happen earlier days, that teachers and drivers used to memorize things out. Okay, and they used to teach it to the people, and the people also used to remember, so the memories used to get sharp. Okay, people used to be curious, but now they get they easily get all the information just in a one go click, so they are not really using their brain functioning. Okay, and that's somehow impacting because the brain is not working. So here comes the third point: we are becoming mentally lazy. Okay, whether it's not using our brain part, whether not using memory, whether not using problem solving skill or curiosity, we are becoming mentally lazy, whether it's procrastination and things like that. Okay, that was the third thing. Okay, and that's shrinking your brain, brother. You, whether you agree or not, this is somehow changing the brain structure. Okay, so that is how much detrimental the smartphone is. Okay, I definitely am using a smartphone for now, and you may be thinking I'm recording the same thing as smartphone, but there's a difference, brother and sisters. Okay, how you do digital detox, how much aware you are, how much boundaries you set with your smartphone really matters. Okay, and that you will slowly and gradually see the effect. Fourth thing, how the smartphone affect your physical life. We talked about social and emotional skills. It impacts your sleep, your eating pattern. You just observe it. Yeah, you don't have to just listen to me, you just observe it around yourself. Okay, using smartphone, becoming dependent on smartphone has totally made you aloof from the world around you. Okay, and what is happening, people are so much into the smartphone use that they are not taking care of themselves, they are not taking care of their physical need, physical health, they are not taking care of their sleep pattern. And now comes the important point, sleep. Like, let me tell you how it disturbs your sleep cycle when you use too much of a smartphone. Okay, what happens is your blue light that radiates from the smartphone continuously give your brain the signal that is some morning time and you should be awake. Okay, so that's the cycle that goes in your brain, and that definitely impacts the release of melatonin in your brain, because the brain is very tricky thing. Okay, it doesn't actually can differentiate between what is like imaginary and what is realistic. So that slowly and gradually impacts your sleep things, and when your sleep is impacted, that will eventually lead to lot of mental health problems, whether it's stress, anxiety, depression, ADHD, aggression. Okay, a whole lot of other problems, psychotic symptoms might also be visible with time. So that was it, that was the fourth point. Okay, that it's really impacting your sleep as well as it's contributing to a lot of mental health problem. So you're getting aware like what is happening around you, and there are a lot of associated factors, comorbid factors. Okay, we're not gonna talk about how social media and smartphones are impacting your overall life. Okay, and mental health problem, that will be a totally different topic. Okay, and we will be discussing that in detail, but for today it was just about how smartphone is creating that atmosphere around you, that your brain is shrinking day in and day out, and your brain is getting smaller, your chemical imbalance is there, that is leading to further other problems. Okay, here comes the fifth point, addiction. We hear the term technology addiction, social media addiction, smartphone addictions. Why is that so? Because these things work on a feedback loop. Okay, where they have an algorithm to capture your attention all the time. Okay, whether it's getting a notification for the email, whether it's getting notification for WhatsApp, notification for anything, they constantly want your attention, and once you give them attention, there's a release of dopamine, and that's a pleasure hormone. And when the dopamine is released multiple times and you become addicted to that, definitely addiction of any kind, whether it's a substance or a smartphone addiction, will lead to the changes in the brain functioning and the brain structure. So eventually you will have problem and your brain will shrink. And this is not just that I am talking it from my own thing. No, I've seen examples, I've seen studies, I've seen researches. Okay, I've heard a lot of speakers and a lot of doctors, and that's for true. So the initial message was start working on how you use smartphone. I know smartphones are really helpful. Okay, they're always positive and negative points, but now at this moment, I think smartphone is negatively impacting. Okay, the negative side has more weightage than the positive one, and it all depends on you, that how you choose to use smartphone for now. Okay, that was the initial message and some learning from today's topic. I believe you get some point. Is first you need to be aware how smartphone is really impacting, and once you're aware, then you start taking steps to minimize, and things gonna not happen overnight. It will take a long time, but eventually if you start managing those things out, I think it could really be helpful, not just for your body but for your brain. And if your brain is healthy, everything seems around you is healthy, social, emotional, all the mental health problems and things like that. So start taking care of your brain, start working on things like smartphones. Okay, that how you utilize this time, and it would really be helpful. So this video was for that. Hope you all do great. That was a practice video, at the same time some information that I would like to share, and I would like to recall all those researches and study that I have read. So that was it, brother and sister. Hope you do well and take care of yourself. Bye bye, see you next time. Next topic, but interesting topic that will be related to brain and mental health. Thank you, brother and sister.